What I like about computer science is you get to build things kind of in the virtual space rather than in the real world. And so you get to kind of iterate faster and try different things. So I never really started out to becoming a professor. So I was actually working in industry building voice user interfaces. And so I was working for a startup, and the startup eventually failed. And after that happened, I kind of decided I wanted to understand how the underlying speech recognition magic worked. And so that led me to do sort of a 1-year master's in speech and language processing. And after doing the 1-year master's, I ended up starting a PhD. And sort of one thing led to another. I kind of discovered that I sort of had a passion for teaching as well. And that's kind of how I landed becoming a computer science professor. My research area is broadly in human-computer interaction, and specifically I work on designing and building intelligent user interfaces that make use of some sort of probabilistic input method. And so this might be sort of input via speech recognition, input via touchscreen sensors, via mid-air gestures, or maybe via an eye tracker. One of the problems I'm working on is how to build better interfaces for people who are non-speaking. So some people, due to a variety of different conditions, can't speak, but instead rely on a computing device to be their voice. And so I'm working on ways to make those interfaces faster as well as more expressive, allowing them to better participate in everyday conversations. I'm working on how to allow people to input text without visual feedback. So if you're entering text maybe when you can't look at your device, or you're trying to enter text and you can't see the device because you're visually impaired. We're working on text input in virtual and augmented reality. You can imagine there's a keyboard in front of me and I'm tapping on a virtual keyboard, or I'm making gestures on that virtual keyboard. And so we're looking at, what are the different options for that, and how do we make that experience efficient and pleasant. We're also working on ways to instrument everyday surfaces as well as your own body to allow sort of a rich input sensing platform to sort of be a basis for some next generation kinds of interfaces. One aspect of the research is making these probabilistic input methods more accurate, but another important aspect is dealing with the inevitable errors. So how do you help people correct those errors? How do you help people detect that the errors occurred in the first place? And can you make interfaces designs that allow people to be proactive and avoid recognition errors before they even occur? I decided to join Michigan Tech because I like sort of the people in the department. I like the geographic area of Michigan Tech. And I also liked how Michigan Tech has a focus not only on high quality research, but also on high quality teaching. Michigan Tech is a good place for graduate study. We have people working, across the gamut of science, technology, and engineering. So there's always sort of people to collaborate with and people to share ideas with. And if that research crosses boundaries between, say, computer science and, electrical engineering, you're going to have the resources at Michigan Tech to attack that problem. So I hope my research will provide foundational results as well as techniques that enable next generation interfaces. So these are kind of interfaces that are going to come after touchscreen mobile devices. Interfaces that are going to sort of surround us everywhere and follow us everywhere. The reason I did a PhD and sort of still work on the problem I work on is because you got to find something that you're really passionate about, you're really interested in. Think about the impact. If successful, we're going to have an impact on the lives of a lot of people.